Hello and welcome back to High Wycombe. It's now 2 years or so since we last filmed the layout, and many of you have been very kind in the comments and likes that you've left on the video. Many of you have asked for more, so here it is. As you can see from these opening shots, there's been a lot of scenic change since we last filmed the layout. The goods yard board has gone in, and the two large buildings, the old goods shed and the new goods shed, are now in situ. And also the station forecourt has been developed with some buses and other vehicles. If we start at one end and look at the new goods shed, this is a lean-to affair that was built in 1926 and was built because the existing goods shed couldn't handle all the traffic. This one was built for vans only, and as you can see there's an assortment of goods awaiting either collection or awaiting transshipment out of the station. The old goods shed started life as the terminus building for the Wycombe Railway, designed by Brunel himself. It wasn't long before the railway was extended through to Princes Risborough and Aylesbury and beyond, and the fact they had to reverse in and out of the terminus before continuing northwards was very inconvenient. A new station was built on the through alignment, and the old station was converted to this goods shed, which over the years had various other bits added to it to make this very large building that you see now. Now when I say very large, this in fact is about 80% of the full scale size. Had I modelled it to full size, it would have over-dominated the layout and left very little space for sidings. The building is constructed out of MDF, scored with a laser. The interesting bit is the flint panels that you can see. The difference here is that the flints were laid in courses rather than randomly, and this provided a bit of a challenge as to how we were going to model this. We tried laser cutting it, that didn't work, and in the end one of my club mates came up with the idea of photographing the existing building and converting this to a scaled photograph stuck to an MDF blank. The photograph was printed on textured paper, which adds to the interest. You will note various details like the seagulls clawing on the top, various open doors through which you can see chaps having a drink, having a chat. There's a wagon in one of the open doors. And of course at the end the inevitable advertising hoardings. At the front there is a weighbridge hut and a small permanent way hut, and yet to be added is a taxi hut and the coal office. Moving over to the station, the forecourt is now in place. There's taxis in place and some civilian cars, as well as a GPO van delivering some mail sacks. The buses are corgi, suitably upgraded, bit of added extra detail like wing mirrors, toned down and weathered. The queue is formed of Model U figures which serve very well, including the lady standing on her own looking at the bus timetable in front of the bus. If you look closely, you can see a small boy has run up the stairs onto the top deck of the bus to get the best seat at the front. His mother is at the head of the queue and is paying the conductor. The conductor's in his winter overcoat because it can get chilly on that open platform in September, whereas the driver, sat next to that big diesel engine, is in his summer uniform still, nice and cosy in there. We're now going to show you a few of the trains running through High Wycombe, some of which you've seen before and some of which are new, and a couple of new locomotives as well. First up we see Collick Goods 2256 heading up a passenger train. This has come down from Birmingham and is a slightly unusual motive power for a train such as this. The main train engine has failed at Banbury and the shed pilot has been put on to take the train through to Paddington. The train consists of some Hornby Hawksworth stock, which are beautiful models. They've been upgraded with Mazo kits, gangways and buffers. Also in the rake are a couple of Slater's top lights, and right at the end an interesting tri-compo slip coach. Next up we see 90033, an austerity with a loaded coal train heading down from the Midlands. This is a Bartman model, again heavily modified, very heavily weathered, crew, lamps and so on. It's a good pull-up and manages the 30 wagons of the up-loaded coal train with ease. We see it parked on the up platform road, allowing faster traffic to pass by, in this case empty newspaper vans. headed by a pannier tank 7760. There's an eclectic mix of vehicles in this train, including siphons, ordinary 12-ton vans, a southern vehicle, a northeastern region vehicle, and at the very back, a pigeon van. Now we see 1975, a K3, heading down Coal Empties. Formerly I was using this on the up train, but the austerity has now replaced this, and this has allowed the K3 to take its head at this train. Currently it's half built. There are 20 wagons. The aim is to get to 40. They're all kits, heavily weathered, and of course running empty, with an Eastern Region brake van at the rear. (1474) is on auto train duties. It's come up the branch from Maidenhead and smartly enters the station into the bay platform, where it comes to a rest to pause before returning to Maidenhead in an hour or so. We have a down express here headed by 60103 Solario. This consists mainly of BR stock, but a couple of Thompson coaches are in there as well. And she'll be heading north up the GC as far as Sheffield and eventually Manchester. 69814 is an A5 Coronation tank. They went out of service in the very early 50s, so they just about fit into my period. The train should have 6 coaches, and I've now got it up to 5. You will recall before I only had 2, so progress is being made. I'm also currently working on another tank engine, an L1. It's having a new chassis built, and very shortly that will come into service, and hopefully the rest of the coaches in the next year. So by the time we do the next update, we should have 2 full suburban services for you to see. As 1474 departs back to Maidenhead, behind we can see the upstation building. As you can see, it is incomplete, and it's been in this state since 2017. However, I have started to detail it. It now has poster boards, drain pipes and roofs, but what is missing, of course, is the overall awning and station roof. This is in fact very close to completion, and I hope to install it within the next month or 2. So that'll be something to attract you back to issue 3 of this venerable series. Thank you for watching. Again, my thanks to my club mates for all the help they give in this project, and to Dave Roberts, whose immaculate filming has made this all possible.